I just want to make a video here. I was listening to a shiurim today. There was a rabbi. He was talking about the value in studying a certain aspect of Torah, a certain area of Torah, and he was mentioning how much value that has in terms of its content. And it kind of struck me that we have so much access to Torah today. It is unbelievable. You can jump on Safari and look up almost any text that you want. You can go on Amazon or eBay or somewhere across the internet and get like literally any Safari you want, any Jewish books you want. You can just exchange it for literally a handful of money and a few days to wait for shipping, and you can have access to volumes and volumes and volumes and volumes and volumes of Jewish wisdom. And it's amazing because many years ago, during the days of the Second Temple and maybe even before, you would have to sacrifice the direction of your life. You literally have to sacrifice the direction of your life for the ability to study at an academy or to study with someone with any significant knowledge. You would definitely have to sacrifice. And then there was a lot less access to books. They were a lot more expensive to manufacture. I mean, even today, a real Sefer Torah, it takes, the majority of a year to manufacture, whether it's the hides, the ink, to properly do the ink, it takes like 6 months, I believe, to get it to cure properly, to age properly, and we have, but like I said, we have the ability to just exchange a handful of dollars for, and wait a few days to have nearly all these volumes that we could possibly dream of, especially if you like books. I'm sitting with a stack of books on my right and my left and beyond that and behind me and in the other room. And I think wow, in another age, this would have been literally impossible. There was a time when we didn't even have access to the Mishnah, the Talmud. You had to learn it. You had to learn it from somebody. You literally had to go sacrifice the direction of your life to learn that kind of stuff. You had to, and if you owned, once this stuff was written down, like the Mishnah and the Gemara, once this stuff was written down, it was dangerous to possess. The governments didn't want you to have it. The church didn't want you to have it. It was dangerous to even possess it. You had no idea at any moment whether the government would turn and be like, we're getting rid of all these Jewish books, and anybody that knows about these Jewish books are going to die with them, and they're going to go in the fire, or they're going to, something. But we live in a day where HaShem has literally opened up his treasury and says, come and take whatever you want. Come and take whatever you want. And it's amazing. It's really amazing if you think about it, that we can exchange the little materialistic worthlessness that we have for such value of knowledge and wisdom. It really goes back to the story of Nachum Ish Gamzu. There's other stories like this in the Talmud where, the treasuries are open up and you're allowed to just take whatever you want. But the story that comes to mind is Nachum Ish Gamzu, which is literally this. He's taking the tribute to the emperor of the Jewish nation of Judea. And at an inn, some criminals, they exchange the treasury in his chests with dirt. So it still weighs a lot. So he takes it to the emperor, and the emperor sees it. They open it up, and there's, what is this? The Jewish nation is mocking me? Will they take me as a fool? And Elijah, the prophet, was there hidden amongst them, And he convinced him, he says, wait, before you take him out to kill him, why don't we test this? Because there is a legend that their forefather Abraham used a special dirt, and it was a weapon against his enemies. It was miraculous. Maybe that's the dirt. So they're like, okay, well, they apprehended him. They didn't just let him go. And they took it out to the battlefront. They had an enemy that they were having a hard time conquering, and they used the dirt in battle, and it did exactly what was miraculous. It turned into swords and spears in the air when they threw it into the air, and it destroyed their enemy. And so, the word gets back, and they say, it's very wonderful that the Jewish nation has brought us such a wonderful gift. They emptied the chest, obviously. They gave him back the chest, and they took him to the treasury, and they said, take anything you want. Anything you want, fill up the chest, it's yours. So that's the story of Nachum Gamzu. We're literally the worthlessness of this world, literally the worthlessness. The criminals around us think that they're gaining everything in the world. And I don't mean that like criminals. I mean like the negative, the negativity of the other side of the world. They think that they're extracting from us. We live in this consumer society. They think that they're oppressing us, that they've got all our money, they go, whatever. We have a little bit, the little that we have. We can exchange that for Torah knowledge. We can exchange that for that Torah knowledge. And it's worth so much more than the dirt that we could have used it on elsewhere. You could blow it on whatever, anything. You know what I mean? There's endless supply of gadgets and gurus and things and subscriptions and everything you can have access to in this world that's worthless, as worthless as the dirt. But yet, you can exchange that. The treasury is absolutely open. There are very few barriers left to all the Torah wisdom that's out there. Language is one of the last barriers. Very few people can master a language, whether it's a living language, but then you also have, archaic languages like the Aramaic of the Zohar and the Talmud, and the Hebrew of the Mishnah and things like that, and the Torah that, you can master it, but it's not, at this point in life, it can be difficult. You have lots of resources now to be able to study it, and you additionally have the ability of the internet, excuse me, and artificial intelligence that can help with the translations of things and things like that, where those barriers keeping everybody away from all this access of Torah information is coming, it's being reduced. And I find it interesting. This is really interesting to me. So like when the Gemara talks about whenever they teach something, it's Tashama, come and hear. It's kind of interesting because hearing is actually one of the senses that you can do from a distance. You don't have to be there. You can be at a distance. You can be separate, away, far away, and still hear. So it says come and hear. Tashama. And then the Zohar uses the term tachazi, come and see. It's like, what? Like, I don't have to be right on top of it to see it. I could see something from a distance. I don't have to be right there. Come and see. You know what the next one is? What is the next sense, the last sense that you can experience from a distance? Maimonides actually talks about this. This is what brought it up. I was reading over Yom Tov in the Guide of the Perplexed, and he brought up some of these concepts, not exactly in this way, but this is just kind of scattered from just different things in my life. And it's interesting because the next thing that you can sense from a distance, smell. Tareach, right? Come and smell. You know what that is going to be? That's going to be the Beit HaMikdash. It's going to be come to Jerusalem and smell the Ketoret and the Mizbeach, the sacrifices. Come and smell. It'll be like Sukkot. Come and smell. Like this etrog, like come and smell, man. So this is where we're at. Like you can do this stuff from a distance, but you can also like hone in on it, So the wisdom is you can check this out from a distance, but it says come, right? That's Aramaic ta, right? Ta shema, come and hear. Ta hazi, come and see. So I hope that kind of encouraged you to, and don't let these books just sit around. Don't let the books sit around. Read them. Go over them, study them, go through them. Make a video online. Of going through a book. I mean, don't be afraid about, whether or not something is legal to go online. Like I'm read you the Mishnah Torah. Like that's what Chabad puts on that version I have. I have a book form, but it's the version that Chabad puts on their website. Like there's so many other things around here. Like the one of these other books, like it's on Safaria. I'm not like influencing somebody's copyright here. And a lot of times, yeah, it's just don't be afraid. Just do it. Like Torah knowledge is for everybody. It's for everybody. So don't be afraid to just pick up a book, read it, and put the video online. Make it available to the world. The world needs it. The Geulah can come at any minute. It's our decision to make the redemption happen. Right? In every generation that it doesn't happen, it's as if we're guilty of causing the destruction of the temple. Right? So we need to make sure that we're working towards the redemption. Think as your action, like if you go to do an action, I'm not talking about mitzvot or anything in particular like that, but just an action, think, is that action bringing Geulah? Or is it making Geulah wait longer? Is it pushing Geulah down the road? Right? So the way you interact with people, the way you live your life, the way you make choices, the stances that you have on certain things, the perspectives that you have, your habits, does that thing, is it hastening the redemption or is it pushing it down the road? So, I think those are things that we really need to think about. And I mentioned this at the Siyum for Sanhedrin. I gave a little discussion, and I said that like you can pray, you can daven for to play a significant part of the Geulah, to bring the Geulah. You can daven that you could be a part of the Sanhedrin to get it established. I mean, there's been a movement to try to get this done. I mean, it's been going on for a while to try to get the unity to make it happen, because it requires unity. And it is a significant milestone for making the redemption happen. Okay? So, hopefully you'll consider all these things and reflect on some stuff over this time period here between Pesach and Shavuot. The count of the Omer. Hash through all these things in your life. Think about various things and how you can overcome your obstacles in your life. Help other people overcome their obstacles. How to gain strength. How to help people gain strength. And get people to go in the right direction. These are all things that we can do. We can play a part. I mean, sometimes we just we just opt to be silent. We opt to be silent whenever something needs to be spoken. And, that also pushes Geulah down the road when we should speak up. So hopefully that's kind of encouraged you to change your perspective, enhance your perspective, learn more, study, read more, daven more. I mean, you can make these things a part of your life. 3 times a day we pray in the Shemona Ezrei. Well, some people, this phrase is actually kind of, some people say it, some people don't, the Shemona Ezrei, but Tzipita Liyeshua, to hasten the redemption, yearning for the redemption, the salvation. Is that something that you do? Do you yearn for that salvation? So the HaShem, he has a book, Kuntras, Tzipita Liyeshua. I actually read it earlier in the history of this YouTube channel, and it's a significant thing. If you want to hasten this redemption, then study the sections of Jewish literature and law that are related to these things. Study the sacrificial system. Study the structure of the temple, Tamid and Midot, tractates Tamid and Midot. Study Sanhedrin. Study, I don't know, gosh, mine's being blank right now. But, these are things that we can do. Study the sections that are related to this. Whenever you daven in the morning, maybe take on a little extra than what you're normally doing and read Ketorah. Read about the sacrifices in the section that deals with the Mishnah, in the sacrifices. The 13 principles of Torah elucidation by Rabbi Yishmael, Patach Eliyahu. Learn something new, study something new, try to do what you can in the realm of study to hasten the redemption as well. So hopefully this lasted 17 minutes, but hopefully that encouraged you to do something, change a little, something little in your life, maybe something big, take on a new habit, take on a new thing, get up at 3 a.m., set your alarm at 3 or 2 or 1 o'clock in the morning and do Tikkun Chatzot. I've got a little playlist on Tikkun Chatzot, the midnight prayer. It is said that the redemption will happen at midnight, just like the redemption in Mitzrayim happened at midnight at Chatzot. So the final redemption will happen at Chatzot. So, take part in that. Sometimes, you got to get up in the middle of the night to get a glass of water or go to the bathroom or something like that. Yeah, grab your Siddur, do Tikkun Chatzot. There's so many things you could do. There's so many avenues and actions and mitzvot and things that we can take part in. Just do it. Be a leader. Where there are no men, strive to be a man. Or where are there no leaders, strive to be a leader. Because it's Anshe Knesset HaGadolah, the men of the great assembly. So where there's no men, strive to be a man. Encourage somebody to do something. Start a group. Start a study group. Read some books together with people. Invite somebody over to read, to study, Take it on. Okay. Get a cup of kave. Coffee. So, yeah. All right, well, take care.